I do. But I'd like to just hear kind of a microcosm of why you got into collecting, how it happened, and what's your main goal? What do you get from it? Are you into it for appreciation of your youth? Are you into it because of the art of collecting? Are you into it to make some money? Because some folks do it differently.
Well, on that last part, you are right. I mean, a lot of people do get into collecting for the reason, or should I say for the later, I guess, if they want to look at it as making some money later. They do. When I first originally started, nope, that was not in my mind at all. I actually started about a year after I had Braylon. I had a guy I used to work with. He had gave me he had bought a Macho Man wrestling figure, and I wasn't collecting. That happened to be Mattel. I wasn't collecting it, and I gave him $20 for it. He just bought it in Target or whatever. And I started looking on eBay, and I had never had any wrestlers at all. Even when I was younger, I'm pretty sure I didn't, from my recollection. So I started looking, and I remember it was Easter Sunday, 2014. And I bought my first one, which they were Jacks. And I started buying those, but they were already contract expired. They weren't making them anymore. They weren't in control of that. Mattel had got the contract in 2010. So basically I was buying stuff that was already out of contract and market. So I had sold them after I bought a handful and went to Mattel. So as I started buying them, I remember telling myself, okay, I'm only gonna buy guys I like, old school guys I grew up watching, whatever. So it really just started with wrestling. And then as I started collecting more, I would grab Transformers, because obviously that was probably my favorite cartoon growing up. And then He-Man Masters of the Universe wasn't until way later. But that's what it originally started, just off of the dime of just collecting, and maybe one day when he gets older, something to share with him, basically. Maybe even give it to him. If he wants to sell it, that's fine. If he doesn't, he can keep it. Something we can share as he gets older. Clearly, he's gotten into it now, knows a whole lot about it, a whole lot about the old wrestling. I mean, he watches the cartoons, all that stuff. It took him a while, but as time went by, I did, because I did pay a lot of, I paid some overprices, because I was buying stuff that was already out. So I had to pay some more. I had to pay a little bit more for certain things. That was my new stuff that was coming out too. But with that said, as time went on, I did start doing the buying doubles, maybe keep one for later, sell it, I started buying a lot of stuff. Clearly there's a reason, because I had to buy a storage to hold all my stuff. And I'm like, it got out of control. I'm like, okay, hold a lot of stuff. I'm not going to open it because I might end up selling it. Then it just sat in storage more and more and more and more. And then I really didn't think about selling things until obviously, COVID hit, stuff like that. It's a seller's market now. So I hadn't really been on eBay for a long time until last fall. I started looking, I'm like, man, I have a lot of stuff that's on here that's going for, it's all in the eye of the beholder, eye of the seller anyway. Or the buyer, what they want to pay for. So I started putting some stuff up, and it was going, and I sold some things to kind of deplete my, quantity and kind of like shrink. And that way, maybe hopefully one day I get rid of my storage or whatever. So I started selling some stuff and going through it, and I'm like, I'm still in that mode of trying to figure out what I want to sell, what I don't want to sell. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to, do I want to share it with him? Do I want to let him have it? All those questions go through your head when you're a collector. Clearly, it depends on what you're collecting anyway, to ask yourself those questions. But that's pretty much how it started and how it's been for the last 10 years. It's been pretty much the same. I've pretty much came to the conclusion that what I have is what I want, and I'm only still at this point later, almost 10 years later, still trying to buy only what I want to buy, and only because I really want it and not because I'm thinking down the road I'm going to be selling it. Like everything I buy now, there's no inkling in my mind I'm going to be selling this. I'm going to hold this and sell it 2-3 years from now for double the price. Because what is really double the price going to do for you? What's it going to do for you? Especially in today's inflation market, what's it going to do for you? Get you some gas? Barely. But to answer your question, though, I mean, just as in how it started and why, that's pretty much how it started. Because when I had Braylon and thought it was something I could share something with him that I liked, that I never had, and he might like it. You know, that's why I would tell everybody, I'm like, why are you buying this stuff? Everybody would ask me, like, why are you buying this? So, like, why do you collect? Why did you just start? I'm like, because it was just something I thought maybe he might like, and, you know, shared, and it just obviously clearly grew into something else. So at this point,